afternoon, everyone, and thank you for taking the time this afternoon. I'm Rick Tapia. I've been in the crypto space for a little over a decade. Today, I run Restored Law, a law practice that helps founders and builders stay legally compliant in the Web3 space as they scale their business. Most of my clients are building on the cutting edges of DeFi, infrastructure, RWAs, and the many other areas that blockchain technology is disrupting. I also am the Indiana chapter president for Stand with Crypto, so I do some work on the policy side as well, helping bridge the gap between builders and legislators. Starting this afternoon, I'd like to have the rest of our panelists introduce themselves, and then we can go from there.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Veronica, and I run the partnerships for the U.S. policy team at Coinbase. I've been with the partnerships team, the policy team, for only 3 months. It's been a wild ride, but I've been with Coinbase almost 6 years. Previous to this role, I was running all of our belonging work, so our DEI initiatives. Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. Thank you, Veronica. And thank you, Rick, for moderating. I've really been looking forward to this. So hello, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Hansson, and I am the Michigan president for Stand with Crypto. I run our state chapter there. And my background is in software engineering and decentralized systems. And now I'm at the intersection of tech and community and policy. And political advocacy is something that I'm really focused on. And really that involves bringing the voices of all of you and the builders in the community into that conversation where policy decisions are made.
Hi everyone, my name is Tamara Szulc. I am the community coordinator at Stand with Crypto. Stand with Crypto is a grassroots crypto movement in the US. We represent the 52 million crypto owners across the states, and we are pushing for clear pro-crypto policy.
Great. To start, and this is a general question for each of you, I'd love to hear from each of you, what does advocacy mean in the crypto context from where you sit? Whether it's shaping policy, organizing at the grassroots level, or engaging with lawmakers and regulators?
When I think about advocacy, I think about speaking for those who aren't in the room. And that definitely comes with my background of, working with diversity, equity, and inclusion for sure. I think that if you have the opportunity to be in a space where there are influential people, you absolutely want to come with the advocacy lens or cap on, because there are people who aren't there and you get a chance to speak for them. So that's what I think about advocacy.
Great.
Yeah, that is super important. Those are great points, Veronica. So political advocacy for me is about a few different things that all work together in a complementary way. It's about mobilizing community, facilitating connections between the community and policymakers, and then also educating lawmakers. So before Stand with Crypto, the people using crypto and the builders that are creating the tech were in completely separate rooms from the people making the laws and creating the policy and deciding the future of this entire industry, which doesn't make any sense. I think it's safe to say that in most instances, when lawmakers are legislating, they know quite a bit about the topics they're legislating, maybe more than the general public, but with crypto, that is not the case. So it is so important not just to educate lawmakers, but to bring the voices of the community into those rooms, and making sure that lawmakers are hearing the real stories from people who are using crypto, from the families that are sending remittances overseas, from the builders that are creating real solutions for their communities. So really, it's about humanizing crypto and making sure that legislators are understanding the value that crypto brings to our communities and how valuable it is to our economy, right? So advocacy for me is about connecting the legislators and the communities, making sure they're hearing from us, and then also educating the legislators themselves and helping them understand why crypto is so important and moving them beyond this notion that crypto is only speculative or crypto is about crime, right? The uneducated lawmakers, that's what they associate it with. So we really need to dispel those stereotypes and educate them to help them understand this is the future of money, and America does not want to be left behind in these decisions.
That's amazing, Elizabeth. For me, advocacy, I think it's turning that energy and passion into action. It's not just about being pro-crypto. It's about educating people about what's at stake and also empowering them to act. So contacting their lawmaker, sending an email to their lawmaker, attending a town hall, or even just going to a crypto event in their community. There's this myth that crypto is in a vacuum, and that's just not the reality. There's policies being written right now at the state and federal level that directly impacts the innovation in all the companies that you see in this room. So we need to be, as advocates, we need to make sure that the voices of the builders here, of the community builders, of investors, of people utilizing this new tech, that they're being heard and that they're taken seriously. If we're not part of the conversation, these decisions in DC, they'll be made for us and not with us.
Really appreciate all three of your answers. Thank you so much. Moving the discussion along a little bit, Veronica, I'll start with you on this question. So from your institutional point of view, what do you really see as the biggest regulatory or legislative threats, or really rather opportunities facing the crypto space today, especially here in the US?
Yeah, well, we are, for better or worse, how you may feel about this administration, it's been really good for crypto. And it's made a huge impact on institutions like Coinbase, who previously we've been in the doghouse, underneath the doghouse, right? And it's really rewarding for us to now be in the room, be invited into spaces, ask for input, and really seen by these legislators as, the mature player in the space. And that is not without decades of work from my colleagues and decades of work from lobbyists and other grassroots advocacy folks that have made a huge impact. We are really so excited that we have passed the Genius Act into law. So stable coins, yes, woo, I hear some people out there, that's right, come on. Yay for stable coins, we're excited about that. We think that is going to unlock a lot of people coming into the economy and really coming into the crypto space. But we still have a hurdle to pass with clarity. We want to make sure that that gets passed in the Senate. So, you're going to hear from us. Definitely reach out to your senators and let them know that we want that Clarity Act passed. Because the next issue is really around how is this going to be properly regulated? Where is it going to sit as far as the jurisdictions are concerned? And ultimately, what's going to happen to DeFi, right? We don't want to lose our decentralized spirit because we have to become so regulated. So I think that's really the challenge that's gonna happen. And then the other challenge I would say, especially around stablecoins, is there is going to be a proliferation of players in the space, and there's going to be more competition, which is good. But there's also going to be people that come out of the woodworks that maybe aren't as I don't know what the right word is, but awesome. Let's just call it that. And so we really need to do our work as, folks in this space, being trustworthy, making sure we're pointing people in the right directions, because again, we want the end game to be people coming into the crypto economy, coming into the space. And so I think those are really the challenges that we're going to face now, and the opportunities as well.
Yeah, really, really great points. And I think, talking about, obviously a lot of the bills that we're seeing, pass through legislation at the federal level is great. But Elizabeth, I'm going to turn to you to talk a little bit about what's going on at the state level. So you are organizing at the state level. Why is state advocacy so important, especially in a space that seems so global or federal by nature here in the US? And what are you seeing on the ground to help support this notion?
This is a great question, and I get this a lot. There's the question of, do state laws add value, or are they merely redundant to federal legislation? I think this is a pretty typical question, right? And So the answer is a couple things. One, federal laws are not intended to address everything, right? So the state laws can come in and fill the gaps, the regulatory gaps, where federal legislation, doesn't pertain to. So state laws are designed to address things like tax laws, licensing, energy requirements, things like this. So, not only is it practical, and necessary, but also there's a special benefit to there being state level laws, and that is because states can tailor their legislation for the unique needs of their state and their economy and their innovation ecosystem, and really work to elevate and empower the citizens of their state.
Right. Yeah. Really great answer there. Tamara, I want to, kind of stay in the lines of kind of community advocacy, ask this question to you. You're seeing things from the ground up with staying with crypto. What's motivating everyday people to get involved in crypto advocacy right now? And why should they care?
I think people are starting to realize that crypto advocacy isn't this abstract thing in DC where people are just debating and writing laws. There's a personal connection to it, to people now. It's whether they have access to their wallets, or if their wallets get drained, or if they don't have access to this new Web3 tech that they rely on now, or whether if financial innovation stays within the US or it goes offshore. So I think people are starting to wake up and starting to realize that there's policy that's being written right now that directly affects the tech that they're using, and this urgency is turning curiosity into action. I'm seeing a lot of folks, older folks, going to crypto events, wanting to learn how to get a wallet, how to mint NFTs. I'm seeing college students going to town halls, asking questions about crypto in their own state. I'm seeing developers and coders being leaders in rallies. So it's exciting, it's powerful, and it's just the beginning.
I think you're absolutely right. It is just the beginning. We're just getting started. And so one thing I want to kind of discuss with kind of each of you is, there's a perception that crypto policy is either too complex or too hostile, or there's not enough stakeholders having their voice heard, whether it's at the state level or at the federal level. But this year, obviously, we have seen that momentum with the Genius Act, as you were discussing, obviously the Clarity Act as well as a big one that people are discussing. And it did, the Genius Act did pass with bipartisan support, and courts are increasingly, demanding clarity and due process. But what does effective collaboration, really look like across all of these different sectors? Because it really is taking a collaborative effort to move the ball forward, and it's going to be the case in order to continue to do so. And Veronica, I'll start with you, and we'll go down the line.
Well, collaboration is really key. I think that if you're going to get anything done, you have to do it together. And as I look out at this audience, I see some folks who have come to DC with Stand With Crypto and have been absolutely critical to us getting to the place where we are, especially on the Democratic side of the House, because Democrats really want to understand practically how this is going to work. They want to know that it is a diverse space, and they want to see that the consumers and their constituents are going to have access, opportunity, and they're going to be safe. So when I think about the founders that we've brought in with Stand With Crypto, that's like hands down, mic drop, the smartest thing we ever did. Yeah. And I really appreciate everybody who's come to DC and has made those impacts for us. Yes, clap it up. Give yourselves a round of applause. There you go. I think also, too, on the collaborative side with what I do with the partnerships, it really is about who is better than you and how can you leverage the relationships. DC is completely built on relationships. You know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, and that's how you get things done in that town. But when you think about yourself as a project, when you think about who you're going to partner with, you want to be with people that have the same sort of passion, have the same work ethic, have the same ability to hustle, grind, and move the ball forward. And if you partner yourself with the wrong company or the wrong entity, that's going to affect your integrity, and it's going to affect your bottom line ultimately. So some partnerships that I'm really proud of that we've been able to start over the last few months have really been partnerships that focus on, after the legislation is passed, now what? So partnerships with the Chamber of Commerce. This is huge. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce is the largest what's it called? Trade association, thank you very much. The largest trade association here in the U.S. as well as globally. And so thinking ahead, how do we want to increase, again, adoption awareness? We want to work with entities like the Chamber that has all of these small businesses. We want to educate these small businesses, leveraging the Chamber's platform and leveraging their data to say, hey, stable coins, USDC, this is something you can actually use for your business. Cheaper, faster payments, global settling almost instantly. These are things that are going to move the needle for these small business owners. If I'm going to approach a small business and say, hey, I want you to do this, we better make sure it makes a difference for them. And so partnerships, anybody who's a founder, owns a project, you know how important it is to partner with the right people. And so I would say at the end of the day, make sure you're partnering up with those that are going to help you move your goals forward. And so I'm excited about Stand With Crypto as the best partners that we've had.
Well, we're excited to have you on our side. Absolutely. It's been very powerful. So I would say that it's important to have good coalition building and education, right? So coalition building, even in the sense of being inclusive within the community. I remember, my first DevCon back in, maybe it was 2017, it was mostly developers. And eventually we realized if we want to use blockchain tech to solve the world's problems, we have to be more inclusive and sort of create that level of accessibility in the community and realizing we're going to be better for it, to be able to have everybody participating. And really, when we are innovating, we want a diversity of input. That's how we come up with solutions that serve everyone. So I think inclusivity is super important. And then I think education. I mentioned about lawmakers, but also to the community, helping crypto owners understand, as the saying goes, if we're not on the table or at the table, we're on the menu, right? So for a long time, I just cruised along as a technologist in DeFi and thinking, well, this is going to scale and we're going to be successful. But what I really took for granted was, we can have the most elegant solutions in tech, but if public perception and policymakers don't understand, then we're not going to scale and we're not going to be successful. And we've seen that with the prior administration, that choke point and that really antagonistic approach to crypto. We're seeing other countries pass us by, and we cannot overstate the impact that crypto is going to have on the world. We do not want to be left behind. We want to be part of that conversation and shaping the standard of how crypto is used. So we need to educate the masses, help them understand what's at stake, and mobilize them to engage with their lawmakers and close that gap between the community and lawmakers. And that's something that Stand With Crypto has done exceptionally well, and they've really changed the game for all of us.
I think the magic happens when collaboration from different sectors work together to write good crypto policy. I think the magic sauce for Stand With Crypto is our wonderful chapter presidents, Elizabeth being one of them, and a couple here in the audience. They all come from diverse backgrounds. They are all passionate about building crypto in their own community, and just shout out to you guys.
Shout out to you, Tamara. Tamara is our community lead, and she is incredible at leading our crew and team building and really being an inspiration and a model for all of us. It's been amazing having you lead our team.
Really great insights from the three of you. Thank you so much. As we come to a close, we're really at an inflection point, right? Laws are changing, elections are coming, and the world really is paying attention to what we're doing here in the U.S. As we come to a close, I'd like each of you to offer a call to action, whether that's someone who's a builder, a voter, a lawyer, or somebody that's just crypto curious. What's one thing that people can do today to help move the ball forward?
Don't give up your dreams. Don't give up on your dreams. You're building something that matters. You might be early. Actually, most of you in this room are early. Let's just admit it, okay? You are way ahead of your time, but don't give up. and keep pushing yourself to create the best product that you can that's going to solve a real problem for people. When you get out of that sort of esoteric space and into the real, that's where you're going to, I think, see yourself take off. So that would be my call to action, is to believe in yourself, surround yourself with those people that are going to believe in you and they're going to challenge you. I just want to give a shout out to my husband who's here. I would not be here without him. Those of you who have partners that have held you down and held you up, you know what I mean. So continue to keep dreaming and pushing, and really the sky's the limit. The legislation is going to be there, so you will have the safety underneath you to build. We're going to keep pushing at that with Coinbase and with Stand With Crypto, but that would be my call to action to all of you.
Amen to that. I love that. So I would say, what can we do right now? I would say be an advocate for yourself. Make sure that your voice is heard as this innovation is being built and the policies that are dictating how it can be used and how America will harness that and lead in this are being made. And you'd be surprised how receptive legislators are to your voices, to your knowledge, to your expertise. Really, they are hungry for that. It can be a little intimidating depending on your past specific engagement, whether that's something you're experienced in. Stand With Crypto makes it really easy. Not only are they advocating for us on Capitol Hill, but they're giving you tools to advocate for yourself. If you go to their website, it's super fun because they grade all federal legislators, like A through D, with colors. You don't want to be in the red. So that's really fun to see, and it's a way for them to hold legislators accountable. But also, there's tools on there for civic engagement. You can sign up, click the join button, give your contact info. They'll let you know when legislation is happening that impacts you, that impacts how you can use crypto. And it's really easy to be able to click that button and send emails to your members of Congress. So be engaged, let your voices be known, and then at the state level, talk to your state legislators. They're eager to hear from you. So be engaged and help really be a part of what is being shaped right now. What happens in the next couple of years will shape this tech in America for decades to come, so we cannot miss this window.
My call to action is simple. Just show up. If you're a coder, if you're you just got your first token now, if you still feel like a newbie in the space, you have a voice. And right now is the time to use it. Policy is being written right now that directly affects the innovation that you're seeing here. And staying silent is a vote to the status quo. So go to standwithcrypto.org, find your rep, email them. It takes 5 minutes. Just speaking up together, we're not only influencing crypto policy, but we're helping build it.
Great. One thing that I'll add, and really great points by each of you, and thank you guys so much for the great, insightful, thoughtful discussion this afternoon, is also, if you are somebody that's just learning about crypto for the first time, or you're somebody that is seasoned, don't underestimate your own voice wherever you live. There's an opportunity there, whether it is talking with a local business owner who says, hey, I have family back home in a different country, and I'm looking at ways to, send remittances and send money back home. Or it's, a young person who's like, hey, I'm learning about coding and developing. What are some areas that maybe I should look at? You have an opportunity in front of you to really kind of shape what the future of crypto looks like here in the US. And I would just say also, if you are a builder, don't underestimate the legal side. We talked a lot about, the policy side of things, but there are still some steps that you need to take to make sure that you're protecting yourself, your business, and the participants in your own ecosystems that you're building. So I would encourage anybody, if you are building, talk to somebody who can help you build on the legal side as well. But without further ado, that wraps up our panel. And thank you so much, my fellow panelists. And thank you, everybody, so much.
Thank you, Rick.
Enjoying Rare Evo? Then lock in your spot for next year right now. Rare Evo 2026 is already in the works, and it's going to be even bigger. More chains, more builders, more connections. Tickets are live. Go to rareevo.io/2026 to grab your early access pricing before it's gone. Don't wait. Be first. be part of what's next. We'll see you at Rare Evo 2026.